Hello and good morning on this Monday. Everybody's in everyone's mind. What's in everyone's mind? Eco-friendly, build back better and greener, invest in greener initiatives and eco-friendly environment. What did we do for all these years? At least 2021 years. What have we done? We produced machinery. We extracted. We burned fuel. We burned fuel for no reasons, starting wars around the world. At least those war machines have somewhat stopped burning fuel. The commercial airline industry today, they are trying to reduce the fuel consumption by using lighter materials. And at the same time, not just lighter material, but designing the aircraft in less drag and more efficiency. Means less burning of fuel and more payload, so more goods can be transported around the world. Less fuel means more cargo, more baggage for passengers to carry. These days, people love to carry something from this side of the world to the other side of the world. If you look at their luggage, they're simply carrying it around. At least there's no camel trail these days. They could only carry what was most essential to humanity. Today, we buy an airline ticket. The airlines sometimes give you 35 kilograms, sometimes 25 kilograms, but the global norm is 23 kilograms. Why would you want to carry everything? If you had to carry everything on your head, would you carry more than what you can carry? It's because the suitcases are becoming much more sturdy. The wheels are turning quite easily, and the bags are like Constantina. They expand like this. They're taking the shape of the planet, whilst we're cutting down everything, burning the planet into making this material, poisoning the air, polluting the water, and destroying the landscapes. The eco balance has been destroyed only because of our human consumption. And on one side, somebody's trying to actually reduce the pitot tube, the length, the dynamics of the pitot tube so that it's less drag. It's more dynamically designed, so there's no air as it flies through, not much. And the anti-collision strobe lights that are on the wings and the top of the aircraft and the bottom belly of the aircraft, they're trying to flatten it to reduce the friction, the drag of the aircraft, in turn increasing the efficiency and less fuel burn. Whilst all this is going on, people are protesting. Governments are coming together to try to find ways to reduce carbon emission. After all, during the Industrial Revolution, they burned enough to refine metals, refine all kinds of material from extracting it from the earth, and taking the model across the planet, spreading it from UK to Europe to America, and then to the rest of the world. And the rest of the world would also like the same luxuries to experience the comforts and convenience that Europe and the Imperial Britain has enjoyed. Have we truly paid attention to the environmental concerns 20 years ago, or even 30 years ago? Just imagine, after World War II, that is, just imagine we could have upgraded the planet's living standard for all human beings. We could have educated the women, the children, girls of the world. If you have educated the girls of the planet, of every nation, every landscape of this planet, every continent, you don't have to introduce draconian laws and draconian practices to control birth control and this control that is going on in the US. We could have educated the girls, given at least 5 more extra years of education. In turn, those young girls would have been contributory factor to the nation, to the planet, and in turn, the birth rate would have been postponed in every country, rather than children, teenage girls getting pregnant. Through education, their commitment would have prolonged, postponed their marriage, their engagements, and just the same time, you could have upgraded the standard of living for those people. Not only that, you would have had a generation worth of knowledge and intelligent generation that could be a contributing factor to the nation and to the planet as a whole. If we hadn't had 2 or 3 wars in the Gulf and other parts of the world, the trillions of dollars invested in all of this machinery, more so wasteful wars that have been conducted across the planet, only to be disillusion today, in illusion of life. Is it? You know what I mean. Untold misery, untold suffering, untold generations of scarring. All of that could have stopped. We could have bridged the misunderstanding with a bridge of understanding to upgrade the living standards of all these people. Instead of sending trained soldiers to fight and shoot with machinery, you could have sent educated group of youngsters from so-called elite societies of the West to all these lands and educated and bridge the understanding of non-understanding between the two cultures or two behaviors of mindsets, and improved the lives. And once you have invested in humanity, rather than bombing them and destroying the infrastructure, the living land, schools, hospitals, building the most necessities for humanity across the world for what we have invested in war machinery, could have eradicated poverty, hunger, famine, so-called war against I don't know what, so-called differences would have just dissipated. A relevant education, a relevantly educated society will never go against their own people, nor they go and wanting to fight with somebody else. Upgrading with the knowledge of fulfilling the human aspirations and tapping into the resources of that aspiration of humans' willingness to participate in wanting to know, seeking to know, expanding the knowledge, upgrading the standard of living, finding good food, clean air, clean water, abundance of necessities of life could have been provided instead of producing war machinery and innocent human lives that are being sent across the world to fight and operate those war machinery only to be scarring countless millions of populations across the world. What have we achieved in all of this? And here we are on a new chapter trying to reduce the carbon footprint and build back better. What are you going to build when you can build on something that is already there? Generations before us, our forefathers have shown us the wars and miseries of wars, misunderstanding of humanity shouldn't be of a concern today. Everyone is equally empowered with a small piece of gadget, so-called a smartphone. When you have empowered humanity in this way, it is time that the leaders have a bit of sense to send a message of unity and peace and bring about a collective union of humanity and open up the humanity rather than the selfish ideals and ideologies and philosophies and dogmas of old practices. Today, generations of tomorrow will only shine, can only survive on the very basis of how and who we are as human beings and being able to know our potential to make life rather than destroy life. Understanding the conscious and responsible ways of conducting a gentle way of going forward instead of you, me, I attitude, the disdain attitude to life cannot continue to carry on when every human being is empowered with technology. The wars that have been fought on the battleground in the past is not the way future battlegrounds going to shape the planet. We all depend on intelligent and incredibly conscious, genuine, sensible approach to human problems that we face across the world. The only way is to be inclusive and enhance the solutions for all human beings. As a responsible leader of your kind, you should open up to a new possibility of a chapter and bring together the humanity without the exterior definition of who you are. Our exterior, limited perception of approaching human beings is not going to let us continue in a pleasant ways. The only way that we can continue for a new possibility of coexist as human beings on this planet is to obliterate your limited identity and your puny intellect, which is what has caused so much of problems on this planet, and open up to embrace life for human beings and all the other species that support our life here on this planet. And I wish and I hope you have the vision to find a path that is suitable for us to exist here. Whatever you do, if your profoundness of genuine interest to find a solution to ever eroding situations across the planet, depending on you as an individual taking a conscious and a responsible step. And that step is not a long step, it is a gentle inward step, and with a reflective idea that it's a genuine one. May that step, may that action of thought, imagination, becomes a new possibility for a new beginning for humanity to shine. Thank you on this Monday morning, and I hope and I wish that every one of us are touching a small amount of and opening up our humanity for better tomorrow.